You finally get what you wanted. The calm, the progress, the space to breathe, and instead of relief, something feels off, like you're pretending to be someone whose life works. You smile, but inside you're waiting for the catch, for the moment someone realizes you don't belong here. What if this feeling isn't self-doubt at all? What if it's something your brain learned a long time ago? When things start going right, you become hyper-aware. You replay conversations in your head. You downplay your wins before anyone else can. You tell yourself, this won't last, or I just got lucky. Even rest feels suspicious. Like calm is something you borrowed, not earned. You might notice it in small moments. After a compliment, you deflect. After success, you shrink. After peace, you wait for chaos. This doesn't just affect how you feel, it shapes how you decide. You hesitate to commit. You avoid celebrating. You keep one foot out of your own life. And slowly, an identity forms. Someone who functions best under pressure. Someone who doesn't trust ease. Psychologically, this pattern often shows up in people who adapted early, not because they were weak, but because their environment required constant alertness. But here's the tension we haven't named yet. If struggle shaped you, what happens when struggle disappears? Let's say this clearly. You don't feel fake because you are fake. You feel fake because your nervous system hasn't updated the story yet. This pattern is not a flaw. It's an adaptation. Your brain learned very early that safety came from vigilance, from scanning, from staying one step ahead. So when life becomes calm, your system doesn't relax. It searches, not because calm is bad, but because calm is unfamiliar. And the brain prefers familiar pain over unfamiliar peace. But why does the brain work like this in the first place? That's where the mechanism lives. At a neurological level, your brain is a prediction machine. Its job isn't happiness, it's survival. It constantly asks one question: what usually happens next? If your past taught your brain that good moments are followed by loss, then stability becomes a warning sign. Here's a simple metaphor. Imagine your brain like an old smoke alarm. It was installed during a time when fires were common. So it became sensitive. Too sensitive. Now even steam from the shower sets it off. Success is the steam. Calm is the steam. The alarm isn't saying, this is bad. It's saying, this is unfamiliar. Be careful. There's also something called identity consistency at play. Your brain likes internal coherence. If your identity was built around struggle, resilience, or survival, then ease creates a mismatch. And the brain doesn't like mismatches. They create cognitive dissonance. So instead of updating the identity, the brain questions the experience. This doesn't feel like me. I must be faking it. But there's another layer we haven't touched yet, and it explains why this feeling shows up after things go right. This isn't about forcing confidence, it's about gently retraining your nervous system. Here's a framework built on how the brain actually learns safety. Step 1. Name the sensation, not the story. What to do? When the fake feeling appears, label the physical sensation. Tight chest, shallow breath, restlessness. Why it works. This shifts activity from the amygdala to the prefrontal cortex. You reduce threat by observing it. Real-life example. You get praised at work. Instead of thinking, I don't deserve this, you notice, my shoulders just tightened. But naming alone isn't enough. The brain needs repetition. Step 2. Stay without fixing what to do. Don't rush to explain the feeling away. Let it exist without action. Why it works. Avoidance reinforces threat pathways. Staying teaches the brain that nothing bad follows. Real-life example. Things are calm for a week. You don't create drama or overwork. You just notice the urge and don't obey it. This is where most people stop too early, but the deeper shift comes next. Step 3. Separate identity from state. What to do? Remind yourself, this is a state, not who I am. Why it works. The brain confuses repeated states with identity. This reframe weakens that fusion. Real-life example. You feel uneasy during success. Instead of I'm an imposter, you say my system is adjusting, but there's still a missing piece. Because knowing isn't the same as feeling safe. Step 4. Build familiarity with ease. What to do? Expose yourself to small, consistent moments of calm, on purpose. Why it works. Neuroplasticity requires repetition without threat. Familiarity rewires prediction. Real-life example. You allow one evening of rest without earning it, and you do it again next week. The final step ties everything together. Step 5. Let the identity update lag. What to do? Accept that identity updates slower than circumstances. Why it works. Self-concept is a long-term memory structure. It changes through lived evidence, not insight. Real-life example. You don't rush to feel like you belong. You let belonging catch up. And this leads to a different relationship with the feeling itself. Think of this whole process like moving to a quiet house. At first, the silence feels loud. Every sound feels suspicious. But over time, the quiet stops being a signal. It becomes a background. The goal isn't to eliminate the fake feeling. It's to stop interpreting it as a warning. When you stop fighting it, your brain learns something new. Nothing bad happened. Nothing collapsed. You stayed. And slowly, without forcing it, the alarm recalibrates. One day, you'll notice something subtle. Things are going right. And you're not bracing. Not because you proved anything, but because your system finally believes the evidence. That calm doesn't mean danger. And ease doesn't mean you're pretending. It just means you're somewhere new, and it takes time to feel at home in a life that no longer hurts you. Stay there a little longer next time. Your brain is learning.